Mr. Sardine, we still be in first place. Hail Hitler, hail Stalin. So, we see that the new requestment, Beryl Hall, Elaine Cannon, Merrick Garland, Robert Shaw Jonker, Richard Seaborg. We stoop in the first place. We don't understand that King of Macedonia, Ferenc Chesnia, the 45th president of the country, Law von Beaten. Now, here's these questions. Hey buddy, ladies, ma'am, gentlemen, guy, dude, it thing, your honor. Hey, I don't put affidavit orders and executive orders into a storage unit knowing that Nicole and Ian's gonna come by and say that I'm not inciting possession of property or no destruction. Mr. Drakean, stupid birthday. Now, if my incitement after 9/11, they don't believe it that I'm the King of Macedonia. We don't understand Slovenian, Bulgarian, and we as a country too stupid to understand Norwegian and Dutch. And then where it's wondered as Obama, or as some say it in my family, the sorry dad, the Pat, and view Gerald, and call them why the Preston Dooms are still in office. We don't like the understanding in Slovenian to how it's wondered in view of Adolf. Oh, his great nephew, the interim president. Hey, Camellia, remember when the whole thing with Camilla was wondered? Marsha Blackburn, what's good? We talk open conservative, brazen network when you need political campaign donation. Giuliani, you remember? You're drinking between Georgia and Wisconsin. 5 dead. Lindsay, remember that day with me when Joe talked to me on Open iHeart? Oh, you don't want to talk about those kind of things. Now, here's my favorite Carol. Elaine Cannon, Robert Shaw Junker, Richard Seaborg, Merrick. We two's dumb and stupid ass. Excuse me, Your Honor. I want to make it clear and known that I made sure to ask for executive orders from the UN to be sent to the president that was wondered what was being burnt by Mark Meadows. And when that's wondered in the deposition with Richard Pryor to assassinate the Supreme Court Justice, yep, I'm gonna walk up to my aunt, ask her how many guys she's had between her legs, how many times she's been married, and that she's comfortable knowing that her son has been told that he's wanted to be assassinated by a United States president. Oh, Miss Cannon, you can't understand that. You're dumb and stupid. Excuse me, Your Honor, right? Now, incitement, Your Honor. Incitement isn't asking people that don't believe that. Hi, I have the 153rd Precinct Sergeant that participated. I still have members of the volunteer firefighting department and police department and firefighters from the New York 9/11 that participated in the California, and the executive order redactment is still indicated in possession in a requestment between Eastman, Bradley, and a couple of the other ones, and say, Mr. Kavanaugh, what happens with Nathaniel, and say Nathaniel Gorsuch Williams? We forget it's Nathaniel Ursi Gorsuch Williams, which would only make it my what? Oh, but that means 4 are quietly married in, direct cousins, or are baby mamas of the family. But we don't quite understand that when we're asking the King of Macedonia questions. Now, Camellia, you go to Palestine. Maybe the whole reason that those executive orders, just like when you went to Vietnam, the Van Tuck tape and the Boris Yeltsin tape, even though it says 7 years, the country can't understand that it's been only released for less than a year. That wasn't the caliphate and nuke use when you went abroad. Oh, I like to swear in properly to the Argentina, Norwegian, Norway, Argentina president, the ECB president, and the president of Turkey, and the president of Congo. in the view of Peter Zarkowski or the Prince of Liechtenstein. But that wouldn't matter when you're asking Xi Jinping compared to Deng Xiaoping and Moon, or the South Korean president as well, that was there during the invasion. Now, here are these nice little things. What's Article 48 of the Geneva Convention, where you can ask questions. Hey, Miss Cannon, Mr. Garland, Mr. Seaboard, Mr. Junker, oh, Miss Beryl Howell, we're too disabled to sit the president, the previous vice president, a Supreme Court justice, and say, in view of United States International War Tribunal, we can't ask that deposition to hierarchy of command in view of two presidents that were fully evaded if you were going to ask the North Korean and the Ukrainian. Now, here's my favorite thing. The Women and Children Summit, that was the first time it's ever been arranged. Now, I quietly might have asked that at the NEAIE hearing in view of the drones. Those drones hold just under 5 kilotons of either plutonium or uranium. They have the ability to go Mach 16 to Mach 20 now. By March, the hypersonic Mach 22 DF-17 Zarkons will be fully produced by South Korea and Iran. These mean 53 seconds with just under 20 kilotons from the Crimean Peninsula all the way to the Mississippi. A minute 22 seconds, non-radar detectable, holding 20 kilotons from anywhere in the world. Be able to strike Washington. Love America damn much. You'll still put him in the Iowa primary instead of New Hampshire. America again. We can't understand interim president Hemler Preston, Hemler DuPont Goring von Bitten. Say, hey, it's World War I. That 38th guy supposedly a blank. Jimmy, you still you haven't been called to Washington to do too dumb and stupid. Oh, just like when we ask if you can see territories as country, adopt a granddad. Adopt a granddad, viral meningitis, good thing in polio, anthrax, and polio vaccines. Tinnitus vaccine. Hey, granddad, adopted great-granddad, we too dumb and stupid to ask all the living presidents in view of a deposition that it's, in King's speech, Lord von Bitten. But nobody in Washington has the ovaries, the testicles, or the brains. Oh, got hold of that gunpoint again. Now, you'll go back to the Russian and the Chinese summit where they shake hands and he paints on a ceramic. That ceramic's 478, 612 AD. That was our agreement to be able to hold the United States at gunpoint. Admiral Kreshkov was 32.78 kilotons heavier in enriched plutonium. They about faced and opened their deck holes. Two shore-board class submarines 9 miles outside of Washington. After I made the phone call, remind Mr. Meadows, atmospheric bombers in 45 minutes, 26 of them will create a brigade bombing unit. Now, I wouldn't be specific when I asked those for executive orders and then they be faxed to Washington from the UN. Oh, the Brezhkov is in our biggest radon field. You'll have your sonar in view of the Starlink update, and you'll have to trust the NEAIE hearing when it went to diving. But that burnt notes wouldn't matter at all. No. Barrel up. How? No. Say Richard James McCormick King and say his partner's not good enough prime minister compared to Kevin as joint chairman and Speaker of the House of Lords, and say Brigadier General of the United Kingdom swearing in against the United States. Oh, I forget those little questions yet. Lord von Bitten, would that be when we made sure to understand the Magna Carta and what happened with James Monroe? But that's not those questions of Elizabeth, do I get to talk to you the night of and say, hey, Joseph Robin, ask why Starfish got done? the underwater nuke death. But this wouldn't be everybody else. Hi, hey, I got ass procedures now. You don't think that releasing the Boris Yeltsin tape mattered. You then don't think that the AWC tapes, and what are known as the Kennedy Space Center tapes, are 6 month, 8 month, 9 month. One is less than 2 months and one's less than 2 weeks old. These are the original dispatches from the 11 tape. The dispatcher asked Dmitry Mendev, myself, asked Lushenko, myself. The pilots, before 45 minutes before he hits the Pentagon. It's original tape. And the phone call log before the pilots, the first and the second plane, 20 minutes before they go into the two towers. But I'm not only asking the other prime ministers that of the 13 that congratulated him, 5 that are still living out of the 9. But that wouldn't matter at all. But we'll exchange Caliphate's intelligence for nuclear weapons and domestic. I'm never supposed to say, hey Joe, remember Mitch said that I'm not good enough to work in Washington. Remember Teddy, remember Mr. McCarthy. Now, here's my favorite thing. SIC 7183, when the Washington ID address comes in tonight, and nobody from any of the cabinet members from the last 2 presidencies attended the Women and the Child Summit, wait until that's wondered.